What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, America? This is the 8:38 p.m. East Coast. What ups you getting? I'm still on the old time we were on last week. So, feels close to the 10 o'clock right now for me. But listen, we in the building. It's Brooklyn Beers and Ball. You know what we do, no matter what time of the day, the hour. Listen, we going to bring it as always. We talking sports. It is the sports talk show of the year. You know how we do: Facebook, YouTube, IG, X. We on it all, bro. Listen, y'all know what to do. We need you to like. We need you to share. We need you to just go ahead and continue to show us some love like y'all been doing. We're going to talk about everything concerning the games from this past Sunday. And I kind of feel the way my Cowboys played on Sunday, but we're going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So it gets worse by the week. You know what I mean? And we're going to definitely talk about it. But, Don is up high. He had a nice weekend off. He was on NFL leave, as they would say at work. He took some NFL leave. So he's good. Represent his Niners. They're going to be looking better probably most likely next week. And so how you feel, Don? What's good with you and the Niners in the Bay Area? What's good out there, man?
Man, feeling good, man. It's a good time to be a Niners fan, man. Everything's starting to look on the up and up. We made some moves at the trade deadline that's kind of below the radar, and I think we're gonna be okay. We're getting some helpers on the way. We got CMC, practicing, no injuries, no setbacks, no pain. No pain.
No pain.
No,
Okay.
no pain. No pain for him. So we all right. We're gonna be all right. So
Okay.
but we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about your Cowboys, man. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right. Well, week 9 is in the books. Listen, it's a tough time. There are a lot of teams that are really actively making that push to get, better and try to set themselves up for a playoff run. And then there are teams that are just staying put, maybe sitting on their hands, maybe doing less. And that's where we start the show. We're going to start off talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys this was supposed to be their year that they were going to be all in. And unfortunately, it hasn't turned out that way. So some people say, hey, well, all in doesn't resemble not making any major acquisitions in the offseason, which they didn't do. We understand that Jerry Jones's definition of all in was pretty much signing their players that he had to sign anyway. They didn't do anything. And this is kind of a synopsis of what they did. I don't mean to cause you any pain, Rod, by going through this, but I think it needs to be said for the people that aren't aware or may not have been paying attention. So ultimately, they had no running game, and as a result, they could be the bottom feeders of the NFC East. How the mighty have fallen. I think this is important to say. The Cowboys have had a game that I predicted them to actually win. They played the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta on Sunday, and it wasn't good. There was nothing about it that was good. The Cowboys showed that they couldn't apply any significant pressure on Kirk Cousins. And as a result, he had an opportunity to pick them apart. Bijan Robinson balled out as we expected because Dallas can't stop the run. And, it was just a bad outing all the way around. Did you have an opportunity to go to that game, or you didn't? You sat.
I actually did, and I declined. Yeah.
Okay, good. And it was good because listen, trauma happening, hearing about trauma and then actually being eyewitness to trauma is a bad thing. And I'm glad you didn't actually was in person to watch that game. I mean, seeing it on TV was probably bad enough. But unfortunately, the only two players that you have that are worth anything, they both got injured.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb has an AC joint injury. It's not expected to be a long-term thing, but Dak Prescott has what they're considering putting him on IR, or if they haven't put him on IR, for a hamstring injury. And there was talk, because I saw on the sideline they had some pictures and they were filming on the sideline, and it appeared that Dak Prescott's hand was swollen. There was a talk that his hand could have possibly broke his hand, but I don't think that's the case. I think the hamstring injury is the bigger injury that took place, and it's going to put him on IR. So Cooper Rush is in the building. You got Cooper Rush. You got Trey Lance as your backup now. So you're getting younger. It's bright. It's a bright future. You got a young Trey Lance in the building, and anything could happen. Anything's possible. Now, I will say this: with Dak going to IR, we already know the season is over technically. Are they going to? Why bring him back? Pretty much. If you're out 4 weeks, do you think that they just shut down Dak for the rest of the season? What do you say?
No, I agree with you there. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense for them to continue to play Dak. 4 to 6 weeks, he's out. Probably on the more of the latter end of that spectrum of that timeline, if you will. And why play him? I mean, you're coming into a very tough stretch of games that most likely Dallas will not win. Although I do think we will be somewhat competitive. I like Cooper Rush. I like Coop. I really do. 5-1 as a starter with the Cowboys. He's very serviceable. He seems to be really locked in. I think what will happen for Dallas is that you get a chance. Hopefully, they'll play some younger guys. I like Flonnery. I hope they can play him. I think he's got some. I think it's a good time to kind of see what you sort of have. I know Jerry wouldn't admit to it, but I think the fans are already conceded to the fact that the season is over. Dak, why would you bring back Dak? Dak back, right? Dak, he'll
back
be
Dak, back Dak.
back, right. And that's what you're going to end up having, because the truth of the matter is, Don, is that our line isn't good, and it's very bad. It's a porous line. We gave up within the first quarter half of the sacks that the Atlanta Falcons have accumulated all year long. This was the worst rush rate team in the league. They only came into that game with 6.5 sacks, and they got 3 by the time the second quarter rolled in, for all intents and purposes. So we're bad, right? So why not let him just chill out, get healthy, prepare for next year, when you can do a better job in building a different team that might be a little bit more formidable. So to answer your question, no, you don't bring Dak back. You let Coop play, and you let Trey get in there, right? You want to see what Trey got. Might be some, you get a little something going on with him. He is a mobile quarterback. The problem is, though, with Trey, honestly, they don't know what to do with Trey. They don't know what or how to utilize a guy like that.
Trey doesn't know what to do with Trey.
Well, Trey doesn't know what to do with Trey. And look, if Trey couldn't succeed in Shanahan and Sons, then what do you think we're going to do with him? Right? I mean, Mike has no clue what to do with a guy like that. I mean, just look how we use Turpin. Completely just nonsensical ways in which we use Turpin, right? You would think a cat like him that's shifty, you get him in space, screens and stuff. No, we throw him bombs down the sideline. So and fades into the corner of the end zone. But that's what we do. So Mike has no clue. Schottenheimer has no clue. So, but maybe just to see him out there running around a little bit, he'll throw you some picks, but he'll look good doing it, right? Break the pocket a little bit. He'll get a couple little runs here and there, and then he'll do something that Trey Lance would do, which got him in Dallas in the first place. So, no, D, it's bad. It's a bad thing. I mean, seeing Zeke getting suspended, Zeke being, kind of like a son to Jerry. getting disciplined, though Jerry was giving him a lot of credit on how good of a player he is and what he means to him while he's yet being disciplined. Didn't make sense to me there. But nevertheless, you could see, that obviously Zeke's idea of what he thought he would be versus what they had in store. And Zeke, from what the reports are reading, is like, Rico is no better than me. He ain't getting no more done than I am. So why can't I just start, And in the short yardage situations, you're not even using Zeke where I think he would have been most effective. And I thought that's why they got him back. But they haven't done that. The team is bad, D. And so now you consider your best player is gone. CD is questionable for Sunday. They haven't ruled him out as far as what I've seen and heard. But we'll see what happens. I mean, if he needs to stay out, he needs to stay out. The season is gone, D. It's nothing left. All I got is some what-ups for you guys and support whatever you guys do. And,
So let me just say this. Did you feel at any point a little bit sorry for Jerry Jones? He had an interview and he got choked up. And he was really, I guess, reflecting on how bad, he won't admit that he made a mistake and this is the baby he produced.
Right.
But he's just he got kind of teary-eyed, because it's disappointing. You didn't see that interview?
I haven't seen that interview, but I've seen interviews like that.
So you think he's a good actor?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know, man. I just have
did you find some authenticity in his tears?
Well, listen, I always have a soft spot for, sometimes elderly people
that's
as
because
time
you haven't been a Cowboy fan, so you don't know. You don't have your owners out there crying and stuff like that. I was going to ask you this just to quickly shift to your Niners for a quick minute. I didn't know this, I don't think I ever knew this. So I was talking to Briggs, and Briggs told me, he said, "Look," he said, "Yo, Rod, I'm not even going to crack on your Cowboys anymore. It's not even worth it. That's just how bad y'all are. I'm not even going to crack up on y'all." But he told me, he said, and do you remember this? When the Niner fans, when y'all were bad, and what happened was the fans actually put money together, and Briggs said he actually contributed to the Cash App or to the GoFundMe, rather, I'm sorry, to fund for the blimp, that little blimp y'all have coming over the stadium and stuff. And it said fire Jed York. And it said, "What up, Scrap? What's good, fam?
What's happening? What's up, fellas?
What's up?"
It said fire Jed York, and then what happened was y'all put so much pressure to get him out, where he turned around and he fired, I forget the coach who was before Harbaugh, and then he ended up, hiring Harbaugh, and then of course y'all went on and
was it Singletary? Singletary,
I think Mike was Mike Singletary might have been the coach before that, but everybody was upset.
We went through some terrible coaches.
This is during the lean years.
Tom Sula, we had and he looks like he can make a good sandwich, he can work at a delicatessen and make a good sandwich, but
Tom Sula or that dude.
Tom Sula, I think his name Mike Tom Sula.
He does,
but I think Singletary, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm forgetting someone, I thought it was Singletary that was the coach right before Harbaugh.
I believe so. And so what happened, and what we're talking about here, Scrap, and to our audience out here, I was saying, so he said y'all actually put pressure to make your management do something. And they did it. And he's saying, that's what y'all need to do with Jerry. You know what I'm saying? And I said, but that doesn't work that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's going to force Jerry out as not only the owner, but he's the president and the GM. And the thing is with that whole thing is that you're dealing with a person who, and this is where your tears and all this stuff come in at once he gave that interview that you saw. I didn't even see it. Glad I see it. When he's on, I don't listen to him. I don't listen to him or Mike McCarthy or Dak. When them three do interviews, I don't listen. I literally just turn, because I'm not going to hear anything of value.
Well, who do you listen to?
Add to my life at all.
Yeah, who do you listen to?
I would listen to. I like
what Aubrey says. If Aubrey says he's,
if I'm Aubrey, I'll listen to Aubrey all day. Yeah,
okay.
I would definitely listen to Aubrey all day. That's my man. It's the best player on the team. Why not listen to him, right?
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. But the Cowboys are an economic machine. I share that with you guys. They are an economy within an economy, and Jerry is about making money for his comrades as well, right? His counterparts, the owners. There is no Stan Kroenke in Los Angeles without Jerry. There is no
come on now. Wait. Hold on now.
The Raiders in Vegas without. No, the league is not what it is without Jerry Jones.
So is that's his claim to fame? Are you trying to
no what I'm saying
highlight his accomplishments?
That's what he's about. He's not about the team. Like what you saw the other day with him crying in an interview, that Jerry's done that before. He's cried, but he cried when we lost to the Giants in 2007. When we were the number 1 seed, 13-3, and we lost the opener in the first playoff game to the Giants, who went on to win the Super Bowl that year. He cried. He cried when I think it was.
He said he cried when the Niners beat
yeah,
you
probably
guys.
did too, or maybe he didn't. I don't know.
And I think you cried that time too, right? Both of you
cried
together.
At the 81.
He cried.
I cried on the
We
cat.
cried.
You cried?
Together.
I cried. I was 10 years old. I cried. I cried. And I threw a chair in my closet door. I threw a chair and it broke a hole in my door when Troy threw that interception. We went down 21-0 in the 1995 NFC Championship.
So you've been seeing picks for a long time now.
Huh?
You've been seeing big picks a long time now, huh? You're not new to this.
But I got my return on investment. We've been beating the Niners up in the early 90s for the long. That was the only game they really beat us in. We beat them in 2 NFC championships during our run. So
what year is this? What year are we in?
He said the early 90s.
You haven't won since 94. So you're somewhat you're no different than where I'm at as far as a Cowboy fan and Cowboys.
Do you really? We got to stay long on this. Do you really feel that our teams, as currently constructed, and what we have done since our Super Bowls, your team, my team, you think that we're in the same place? You think? Ultimately, we don't have a ring. We didn't get a ring since that point. But do you think our teams? Do you think our teams are the same?
Please say
all intents and purposes, if we look at what the ultimate goal is in this sport that we watch and what they get paid to do, and the ultimate prize is the Super Bowl. Y'all haven't won a Super Bowl. You've lost 3 Super Bowls since your last Super Bowl. Now, and if you want to talk about relevancy, I don't think there's still a team more relevant than the Cowboys, win or lose, whatever anybody else does. The Cowboys are still relative.
Now you're going into
more valued than we are.
So you're going into the business side of it. We're talking you as a fan. You as a fan, you're supposed to be a purist, right? And you're supposed to be focusing on the game, what is put on the field.
Yeah.
So my question to you is not if the Cowboys or Jerry Jones or Cowboy fans, how far they spread, as far and you can't count how many people are Cowboys fans. I'm talking about from a standpoint of what you guys, since your last Super Bowl, have put on the field, the product that Cowboy fans like you consume. Do you think that your organization and the Niners organization is the same?
No, I don't. I don't think it's the same. But I think if you go back to what being a true, pure Cowboy fan means in terms of our disdain for NFC East teams, the Steelers and the 49ers, you do find some solace in the fact that the Niners have not won. You know what I mean? They've lost. In fact, you guys were once undefeated in Super Bowls until Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan, who can't seem to win in the big game. So yeah, to answer your question, no, we're not. We haven't built a team that has gone past the first round of a playoff. We've done it twice since we won our last Super Bowl, but that's been 30 years. So to advance twice in 30 years, no. We are not the team that you are. Your front office is better than ours in terms of constructing a more competitive team. But at the end of the day, you haven't won. You got to win a Super Bowl. You've been to some, but you haven't won any. And so
so you would rather, what you're saying is, given your opportunity, you would prefer the way your team is, hey, if we're not going to win it, we might as well get out. And we might as well not make the playoffs if we're not going to win it all.
I mean, to a degree, I kind of feel that way. I feel like that's the
ridiculous.
Standard of what the Cowboys used to be. I mean, we were
so you're come on, right.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying would I like for us to get to the playoffs or get to an NFC championship? Yeah, I probably would like to see that. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't want to see it, but at the end of the day, you know, if we were getting, you know, if you reverse the roles, I would tell you this: if the Cowboys had the level of success the 49ers had in terms of advancement into the playoffs and into Super Bowl appearances, I would still not really be all that happy about that. I would still say we've been coming up short. I would feel like we're the Atlanta Braves of the early 90s, we're the Vikings of the 70s who lost 4 Super Bowls. We would be the Broncos of the 80s who lost 3 Super Bowls. I mean, we would be a team that's just, you know, a really good team, but we can't get over the top. And that doesn't bode well for your legacy. You know, I mean, and you guys are 5-3 in the Super Bowl, just like we are.
Okay, how many Super Bowl championships does the Cowboys have?
We have 5.
And how many do the Niners have?
5.
Okay, and so based on how we have performed since the 90s, who has a better chance of getting 6?
I would say you guys have a better chance of getting 6. I think that's
why is it taking so long for it? Why is it taking so long for that to you know, you to compute that? Your eyes have to go all the way around in circles.
Because we have our brain want to say something else, but then
right to the left, that means he's lying.
As Cowboys right now, if he looks to the left, forget about it.
Yeah,
as Cowboy fans, as Niner fans, getting to the Super Bowl and losing is a disappointment. But what the Cowboys put, there's no disappointment. It gets to the point that what's the point? What's the point of us? You guys have not had success. You haven't been to the NFC Championship game. Forget Super Bowls.
Right.
How about getting to the second round of the playoffs?
Yeah, make it past the credits of the playoffs. Jesus.
It's like it's.
I like the black dude in the Scary Movie.
I
man.
agree.
Y'all
I mean, I don't
past the
disagree with you. I mean, it is disheartening as a Cowboy fan. You know, that's why there's a level of apathy that I have now towards the team. You know, I don't necessarily, you know, I have a very lukewarm approach to them right now.
Is the jersey still on the wall?
The jerseys are still there. Yeah, the jerseys are still there.
So it ain't.
Jersey's still there, and
so it's not.
My other jerseys are upstairs. I'm gonna bring
the Cowboy sombrero is still on there. So yeah,
the sombrero is still there.
You still love the Cowboys.
Bring some others. I know I still love them, but I'm not expecting anything. I was never that kind of fan anyway. So you know, but like I say, D. Well, let me ask you something though, D. Okay, and then SKRAPP.
He has to try to turn the tables.
No, because you know, D.
You was never what kind of fan, right? You was never what kind of fan?
I was never a fan that I never expected more of my team than what I knew that they were capable of giving.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm not one of those Cowboy fans. We're gonna win a Super Bowl every year. No, not at all. But I told y'all last year and the year before that. What have I been saying? The only team we got to get past is the 49ers, right? I was saying that last year and the year before. Now, the way we constructed this team as poorly as it is, forget the 49ers. We can't even, I don't know, we could beat Carolina.
You got to get past the Giants.
Packers,
you can't beat the Giants.
Yeah, I don't think we're better than the Giants. In fact, the game we did beat the Giants, we barely won that game. We only won by 5 points in that game. That was a 1-score game. So, but what I'm asking you, D, now, if y'all don't win a Super Bowl this year, how would you feel? What's in your thought process?
Well, they're not. So yeah, go ahead.
So if we don't win the Super Bowl, of course it would be disappointing because each year, every team, to include the Niners, should go in with an expectation to actually win and get deep in the playoffs. And the goal is in February for confetti in victory to fall on you. That's the goal. Now, other teams may not be, the case. Cowboys, other teams that are big market teams, but not necessarily that's their goal. So for me, if we don't win the Super Bowl, it would be very disappointing. But I would look at it, it would depend on how we win or how we lose. Now, there are teams that look very impressive starting off. I like the fact that towards the latter part of the season, we're getting healthier and we're getting players back. An injury or two can change everything.
Yes,
listen,
true.
Kansas City looks unbeatable, even though they remind me a lot of the Eagles, to be honest. They remind me of the Eagles last year, or maybe the year before, where they were winning games and they weren't dominant because they haven't won it. The Chiefs. The Chiefs remind me of the Eagles.
Okay,
they don't look dominant, and teams could beat them, but it's one thing or the other. That this was the big tush push when they were abusing the tush push and winning games that were tightly contested games.
You mean last year?
It was last year then.
Yeah, the first half of last year.
Until you met us, and then everything changed. But okay, I say all that to say, what I think overall, Kansas City is not as impressive as their record shows. They find ways to win, but they're not overly impressive. I know why you're looking like that.
Because they weren't impressive last year either, and they won the Super Bowl. I mean, when are we going to get to the place where we got to stop comparing? The Chiefs is not in the NFL. It's the Chiefs, and then it's the NFL. It's when we going to learn that. We have to accept that. We need to concede that as long as that man is quarterbacking, they don't need what other teams need. They don't need to look.
I know, because they have assistance from the NFL. They have assistance from referees. The there's some intervention that takes place.
I mean, some calls.
How is it that I send you? I send you clips all the time.
I know, and I've seen them, and you're right. But I don't. But are we saying then that their success that they've seen in the last 5 years is due to the refs giving them those Super Bowl wins, or was it because maybe y'all didn't block Chris Jones and he got too much pressure on Purdy and he, made an inerrant throw in the end zone?
Or they held Bosa countless times, and I've sent you videos on that. I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but I am saying that every little bit helps, right? If someone assists you, you take the assistance, and if you're a good team, you have a good coach, a great quarterback, you make the most of it, right? The fact is that they're able to get their team. And I don't know why what is it? What is it? I don't understand.
All I'm hearing is excuses. I don't understand. Like this, I could see if this team benefited from a call or two and they won a Super Bowl, like the Eagles who won a Super Bowl back in 17 and whatever, with 2017.
Oh, what call or two did we benefit from?
And no, I'm saying, but like,
they won that.
In other words, y'all won, but y'all haven't created no like the Eagles. Eagles have never been a dynasty. They're not a dynasty. They don't know what a dynasty looks like, feels like. Their fans will never know what that is.
Whoa, hold on. You're not gonna punch down on me. I didn't say nothing, man.
I'm not punching up. But what I'm saying is that but this team is a dynasty. So we can't like. The refs and stuff, like, I mean, if it was one game, maybe 1 year they go to break, refs kind of showed them some love on something, and they benefited from that. Okay, they won a Super Bowl that year. And then they go back to just being a mediocre team or maybe an average playoff team, and we don't hear from them for another 5-6 years. This is a dynasty, bro. Like, this is a team that's been in the Super Bowl virtually every year for the last 5 years. So, I mean, we can't use the referees. The Chiefs don't need anybody. They don't need to look like what we need our teams to look like. That don't apply to us.
Okay. It's tough for whatever reason. Rod doesn't want to, as the old saying is, you don't want to believe fat's greasy. And so when you see something, and that's
from down south. I never heard that before. That's
never
from
heard
down
that.
south.
Never heard.
Yeah. So
yeah,
gotta be.
Maybe it came from the south. I don't know.
We don't believe tea is sweet or something.
Yeah, but my point is this: you see, and James brings up a great point. Do they need the assistance and calls throughout the game? No, it's at pivotal points where the game is they're good enough that if they get a little assistance just to extend the drive, they'll make the most of it. I'm not taking away from them being an excellent team. They have a really good defense. Arguably the best quarterback.
The primary reason why they win, because of what you're saying now, in terms of what you're giving them these accolades on, is that the reason why they win primarily? Because they're a good team with a good defense and they're well coached and they got skilled players.
That helps.
All world quarterback.
That helps. But every team needs help. Every team needs help.
So they need help from the refs. So that's what you're saying. You're saying they need help. So the Niners are getting their help from the refs. Is that what we're saying?
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. All right.
I see where this is going.
No. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there because we have other stuff to talk about. The Cowboys. Let's just sum up this before we move on. Cowboys are finished. They're done. Okay. They're done. And we appreciate your what ups and we'll value you. We probably won't even talk about the Cowboys anymore on this show because
we'll talk about
what is there to talk
bring
about
them up next week when they beat the brakes off us. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a total
yeah.
Well, yeah, we got to talk.
You
played them 2 more times, right? Is that
they didn't even get a whiff of it yet. They'll be all right. We're gonna get them together.
He's not wearing a jag skin coat, but
he
was sweating it out though. He's gonna be confident today, but I'm telling you,
he's a little humble today.
Yeah, no jag skin, nothing. They ain't got no jag or nothing.
Ah man, that was. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get to that. Yeah. I think they'll pretty much shut down Dak for the season. Why would you bring him? And I'm honestly thinking, I think Jerry Jones is going to be interested in putting something on the field that people would at least want to watch. I don't think if they shut down CeeDee Lamb and Dak, it's unwatchable. Like there's nothing that what are you watching?
Yeah, that would be
the Panthers.
That's why I think
Dallas Panthers.
Yeah, I think CeeDee will push. And this is one thing. Micah made a good point. It's not over till the fat lady sings, and he said he hasn't heard the fat lady sing yet. So Micah still, Mike. Listen. She is singing. He's just not listening.
She's doing her voice exercises.
But
he about to close the show for y'all.
This is of course we moan about the refs. We're fickle little whiner fans. Hey, James.
James, that's good. James,
the tape doesn't lie. The tape doesn't lie. No, we can put it back up.
Can we put that back up?
Listen, we already understand. James is on a different time zone. He could be sleep typing for all we know. We don't know if he's awake.
No. James knows what he's saying. James is very, very cognitively acute in what he's doing, what he says. He articulates well. He writes his statements out very thoughtfully. That was a well thought out statement that was intentional, and I agree with him on that. Definitely.
Okay,
so I can look in the mirror. It's all good. See, James, can you help your boy? Can you see how James is honest?
Well, to sit here and act like the refs have no bearing on any games that's just crazy.
They have a game or two. Everybody.
Not a game.
What are you talking about? A game or two?
Like
right.
Every
if
game.
You see the video and what all of the clips that I've seen that haven't been doctored. It's not me editing the videos. These are coming off of the All 22. Or it's coming off of someone a play that's
not even just the Chiefs games either. It's like they're not just say, hey, let's just mess up on the Chiefs game. The refs is the topic just about every year with them blowing calls and just just like swallowing their whistles and stuff, man. Like I seen Miles Sanders almost get his head ripped off on a kick return when he was a rookie. The dude grabbed his helmet and almost broke his neck. No flags was called. Like
Sam Darnold in the end zone last week. Well, or the week before, Sam Darnold got a face mask. I think they were playing Detroit.
Yep.
That was a easy. The ref was in the frame of the video. The guy's head, Sam Darnold was turning around like an owl, looking at the ref, and the ref didn't see it. And then after the game, we missed that call. That doesn't help the outcome of the game. Yeah. So I don't understand these videos. When you see them, what are you looking at, Rod?
What I'm saying is that I'm not saying there's no merit to the lack of calls or bad calls, but I don't, when you still talk about the Chiefs, I don't think that resonates well in terms of being such a contributor that you can now have to take some of their rings away. Heck, I would almost say
no, you're not going to take their rings away.
I'm not saying that.
Not taking it.
I'm not saying that.
Take their rings away, right?
But you don't think you don't think the Patriots dynasty? Did the Patriots dynasty benefit once the machine that is the NFL got behind them and their success? You do have to have something to work with, right?
What do you mean they got behind them in their success? I don't understand what that means.
So there was never a time where Tom Brady, who was the face of the league, benefited from being the face of the league.
When
when a player becomes the face of the league, you should understand that as a Laker fan, having LeBron on your team, you benefit by having a face of the league. Right now, Patrick Mahomes is the face of the league. You don't think that the NFL leaned all the way in to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's romance and what that did to the numbers? And so they're going to do that and then not aid them in being successful? Does that make sense? We understand that the NFL is a business at the end of the day.
No, I think does it benefit them in certain aspects of maybe calls and different things? Yeah, but not enough to persuade an outcome. I don't think that happened. I mean, look at the Giants who beat them twice in a Super Bowl. I mean, when as close as those games were, if they wanted to quote unquote help out the face of the league, I'm sure that they could have done something in that game to have persuaded it. I mean, the Eagles beat them. That game was close. That game was that was a offensive fest going on between those two teams that day. You don't think that if Brady is the face of the league, then you don't think the refs could have either swallowed their whistle or called a flag that didn't even exist on a play and benefit Tom Brady? That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like,
it's not that they wouldn't call a flag. It's not that they would call a flag on something that didn't exist. It'd be like, throwing flags on something that's marginal. Is what he's saying. Something like that. Something that's like could have been a no call, but they made it a point to call it.
But every team falls victim to that when a ref does that. You know what I'm saying? That's not just the Niners. I mean, that's not the Chiefs. What I'm getting from Donald is that the Chiefs are where they are, kind of, sort of. Yes, they're a great team, but they get a lot of help from the ref, and I think that's why they're successful.
You know what it is? It's not even if they're getting a lot. It just seems like the flags are timely. Can we say that? It's like
Rod don't even want to say that. He don't want to. You can show him footage of factual things that have impacted and extended drives.
I gotta look at your clip again. I'll go back through the chain and send it. I gotta look. Come on now. I gotta see it again. I know that right tackle is always offsides. He's always in pre-snap penalty. Always. That dude is always.
But are they called though? Is it called?
No, they're not. No, they're not.
So that doesn't impact the game, Rod?
They're not. Yeah, I think it does, but not to that degree. So are you saying that they won? They won. What is it? How many Super Bowls they got now? 4? 3?
3 Super Bowls.
So they got 3 Super Bowls in 5 years because they're not calling that right tackle off. Is that what we're saying then?
I'm saying that drives are extended by either calls that benefit them or the lack of calls that would hurt or stifle their drive. I'm saying that that's a fact. And don't take my word for it. Look at the video. The videos speak for themselves.
Send it again. Send it again.
I'm not sending it again. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not sending nothing. I'm not. Send it again so you cannot look at it and then the next show deny it. Absolutely not. I'm not sending anything. Just wait till Sunday. It'll happen again. I don't have to keep fresh manna. There'll be something else. There'll be another call.
They benefited in the Tampa Bay game. I didn't see the game. I did go back and watch I did watch the overtime though. I went back to watch the overtime, but I didn't see the game. Did they benefit? Did the referees win that game for them too?
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, Rod.
Yeah, with the no call on the false start.
Exactly. The offensive lineman he's scooting all the way back, but he's doing all kind of dancing behind up on Mahomes to protect him. They let that play go on. They don't call it. I mean, listen.
I mean, I'll give you that though, D. I just don't know if it's impacting the outcomes of the game. That's all I'm saying. Are you still salty from last year, man? Is that what it was? 2 L's to that team? Because 2 of their 3 Super Bowls did come at the behest of the Niners.
So, man, that's fine. I mean, it happens. Let you tell it. Oh, losing to Patrick Mahomes is not a big deal.
No, it's not. It's not. But I just want to make sure you're not still harboring something there. You know what I mean?
all real Niner fans that are watching and other fans, football fans in general, do not take my word for it. Just watch the tape. Watch the video. That's all. Watch the video. It's all good. I mean,
all right.
Scrap understands what I'm talking about. You're the only one, and I think part of it is, and then we can move on. I think part of it is because your team is not even close.
Yeah, he could care
to
less.
that. He can care less.
He's
and
like
he's reversed. He has reversed. He's jaded. Reverse in reverse
about the calls not being made. I can care less about the timely flags. Remember, he was drunk on TV that time. Joe Namath trying to kiss. Who was that? Susie Colbert he tried to kiss.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I still remember that. Yeah.
What do you think about the team struggling? I could care less about the team struggling.
Yeah, yo, he was so drunk. Son.
That's how I ride right now. I could care less about them not making calls.
Yeah, he doesn't care. And that's because there's a reverse jaded syndrome. When your team is not even close and there is no disappointment.
No, I'm just saying I'm not gonna let you do that to the Chiefs. I'm just not gonna let you do that like that.
You know who he turns into?
You gotta get
he turns into both of those old dudes up in the balcony on the Muppets. They just sit there hating all night. Waldorf and Statler, whatever his name is, Statler and Waldorf. That's him. He's both of them.
Yep, he doesn't listen.
Just sitting there hating all shit.
Rod does it. If you agree with this take, or whoever you agree with, if you agree with what I'm saying, that the Chiefs benefit, not saying that they're not a great team, but they do benefit. They benefit. And if you have a great team, they take full advantage of it. Yeah. But let's move on. Let's talk about, before we get to the Eagles, let's talk real quick about Miami and Buffalo. Very close game. I think Miami, what is there to say about them? I think Miami should just the season. I know that everyone's excited because Tua is back. And let's face it, the offense looks completely different with Tua, right?
Definitely.
He ignites the offense. He gets the other players involved. But now they're talking, prior to the trade deadline, they were talking about moving Tyreek Hill. I think that team is going to blow up. I think after this season is done, I wouldn't be surprised if they move on from the coach. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those players start to get poached from other teams, because we understand that Tua has a ceiling. His ceiling is, number one, his health. His ceiling is also the temperature. And unfortunately, because Super Bowls are usually in cold weather, unless it's a dome, or deep in the playoffs, because of him being in the AFC East, he's going to have to play cold weather teams. That's where Tua hits the brick wall. And we know if he hits a brick wall, he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with a concussion. So if that's the case, I think they're going to make some tough decisions down the line, and they may move on. I don't think they'll move on from Tua because they have the money. But I think I would not be surprised if they try to get younger. With those contracts, Tyreek Hill is making bank. Of course, Waddle's making bank. They have a bevy of running backs. And, they have them for cheap. Achane is cheap. I think Mostert they're affordable contracts. They have Jalen Wyatt, Wyatt, I think. So they have good running backs that'll keep them. But overall, I think they're going to have to make the tough decisions, because I really don't see them, beating up on the Jets. If they got to play in the cold, they're going to play Buffalo, and Buffalo owns them. Tua is 1-8 against Buffalo. And Buffalo ain't going nowhere. They got younger. Of course, they got extra pieces. Amari Cooper, we'll see if he gets acclimated into the offense. They got Keenan Cole. They got, Cook as their running back. They have a good team. And I just think that Miami, they look good. They're a September team. Yeah. Maybe October, maybe a little bit of Indian summer if it lasts. But after that, it's over. What do you guys say?
Yeah, I think Miami is cooked with Tua missing that time, and they don't have a good backup to replace him to keep at least give half the production he was given, to get the ball to their weapons in space. Like once he went down, everything dropped. That's like when Brian leaves Cleveland, man. The value of everybody around him just goes down. Like Tyreek was a total fantasy bust after Tua went down. It's like he couldn't get the ball.
Nope.
You see, I mean, for people that drafted Tyreek Hill, they were like going crazy after Tua went down. So it's like now, like you said, they're at that part like now. What do we do? Do we, pack it in, try to get a good draft pick to add to this for next year? Or do we, like you said, try to get younger and start moving people? Because like they can get something for Tyreek Hill. They definitely can, and Jalen Waddle. They can if they gut the team, they can get pieces. But then like who's Tua throwing the ball to? Like who are the pieces that they're
that's my thing. But I don't know if it makes sense to blow them up though. But why would you blow that team up though?
Right. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I mean,
but if you're only if it's then there's a cowboy mentality that takes over. Because it's not about, is it about winning or is it about having pieces that people or putting butts in the seat to actually watch that? If Tua this is the problem. If Tua gets hurt again, the linchpin of them being successful is based on Tua, and he is made of glass.
Right.
So you're either going to have to draft another quarterback, and you just gave him all that money.
That's
it
what
doesn't
I'm
make sense.
So if you blow them up though, and you still got an injured-prone quarterback, what good is that going to do? Then you get an injured quarterback, then he's going to get hurt. Now you got nobody there.
How you combat that is you draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
You get younger and cheaper. You're paying Tyreek Hill upwards of $30 million, and if Tua gets hurt, he is as good as Jalen Tolbert.
So what are you going to do with Tua while he's there? You're going to draft another quarterback while he's still on a big contract? What owner's going to allow that to be? Why would they do that? Why you?
Hello, Atlanta. Did Atlanta do that? Did Atlanta do that? I'm just wondering if Kirk Cousins gets hurt. They have a quarterback that can play, that can.
Yeah, but they were bad. Well, this year they would be bad. So, yeah, they might be in the running for a quarterback. But I don't know if the Dolphins will end up that bad. I think the Dolphins can still win some games.
Did you see them without Tua?
They don't have to be.
But what I'm saying is
they don't have to be top five. They don't have to be top five to get a quarterback. Most of the teams aren't going to be drafting quarterbacks. Everybody is going to be straight on quarterbacks.
But I mean, if you're going to draft a quarterback in the 4th round or something like that, and you draft the quarterback, you can get him,
or you can draft a quarterback in the last pick, and he can ball out. I mean, you could do that too.
But you still got Tua on the team. That kid is not going to start over Tua.
That went over his head.
Yeah, it did.
No, it did. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I said, or you could draft the last pick in the draft, and he can ball out and go to Super Bowls.
Well, I mean, McDaniels is part of Shanahan's son, so maybe he can do that.
So to think that doesn't make sense. If Miami doesn't do one of the two that I'm suggesting, and I'm no GM of the team, but if they don't either get cheaper or get a viable backup to train with Tua, learn from him, and if he gets hurt, be able to carry the team, all they're doing is wasting your brother's time going to those games and being hyped. Because we see if Tua gets hurt,
you're saying just draft the quarterback, but I don't see the logic in blowing the team up, though. I don't see the logic in that. If you draft, you could just go draft the quarterback, get somebody there that you can, like you say, get them, leveled up a little bit behind Tua. And then, God forbid,
but depending on what you get for those players, like you can build a team, and then it'll be like maybe 2 or 3 years, and they'll be like a powerhouse, depending on how you do it. Like Houston took those draft picks; they got like the top.
But those players aren't the reason why they can't go far. If the reason why that team is not going far is because of Tua, then why are you getting rid of the guys who's not at fault? Like if anything, then you get a younger quarterback, and then you can groom. And then you leave Tua and hope that he stays healthy, because when he is healthy, he still plays good. The Dolphins are still good for maybe 11, 12 wins a season.
Because Tua is not movable. The difference is Tyreek and Jalen and Waddle are movable. Right. Nobody wants Tua. So you're stuck with him. So you're going to have to get cheap from a cap standpoint. My suggestion, and if you remember time last year and the year before, I said, do not pay Tua. You can't pay him. He's not worth an extension. They didn't move on. They felt pressured.
Where were they going to go?
Tua.
Where were they going to go? Who were they
How
going to
many
get?
how many quarterbacks were drafted behind Tua that are balling out?
You mean at the time when they drafted Tua, or you mean at the time?
Or
they
the
had to sign a new
time where they
contract?
had to, when they started to see that Tua through his concussions, because this is not
How
this
were
is
they
2
weren't
years.
going to get a Jaden Daniels and these guys that were coming out of the league. They weren't. They were too good. They weren't going to get those unless they traded up for those guys. Is that what you're saying they should have done to get one of those quarterbacks?
Yeah, because the quarterback is a quarterback that is sturdy and healthy is a very, very, arguably the most important position.
Yeah,
as your quarterback goes on IR, that is an important position.
Right, but how much capital you would have to give up if you didn't sign Tua and just cut ties with him and think you're going to get a quarterback out of this draft that we just had, or even the year before that? You don't know how much capital they would have to give up for that. So, I mean, you gain some capital, but you're going to lose it at the same time if you try to replace Tua. Like everybody's stuck in paying.
How would they have lost if they didn't give him an extension? You have that money that you're giving Tua. He wasn't going to be a humongous cap hit. You didn't have to extend him. This is what I don't understand.
What were you going to do?
Get a new quarterback.
But then who's your quarterback? If you got Tyreek and Waddle, them guys want. I mean, you're gonna have two. You got all these weapons, and you're gonna think a rookie's gonna come in and make a difference. And you don't have that. You're not even in that draft position to get a good quarterback unless you get rid of a Tyreek Hill and a Waddle to get that. Because
James brings up a good point. You could have went for Fields. Fields was available. You seen where
Fields ain't moving the needle. What Fields gonna do?
He's not hurt. He's not injured.
But honestly, I don't even think he's better than Tua. If you ask me, I don't think he's a better quarterback than Tua.
He's cheaper. He's cheaper, and that gives you. He could be a bridge quarterback. He could be a bridge. You bring Fields in for a fraction of what you're paying Tua now. You draft a quarterback, let them develop. Look at the quarterbacks that are thrusted right into a starting position, and look at the quarterbacks that are given the opportunity to develop. It makes a difference.
I don't think, but if you have a team that's almost ready to win now, and the only thing that's really standing in your way
is the cold weather, is the only thing that's standing in their way is the cold.
They're gonna have to find a way to get over that anyway. I mean, that's not just Tua. That's the Dolphins in general playing in the cold. So that's the whole team. That ain't just Tua playing bad.
So how is it that a team like Minnesota could draft a quarterback, McCarthy high, and then pivot once he got hurt to get Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold is balling out with Minnesota? Explain to me how you're acting like they're so tethered to Tua that they can't do nothing. If they don't, well, what do we do if we move on for Tua? Move on from Tua.
Yeah, but not if you have a but the thing is, they have a team that's ready to win now. Minnesota right now.
So did Minnesota.
Minnesota's not a team that was first of all, nobody expected them to be as good as they are right now. That was a shock. Sam Darnold, nevertheless, playing as
Justin Jefferson is a number one unguardable. He's a real number one.
Right.
They got Aaron
the
Jones.
Dolphins have a
good running back
arsenal over there.
And they got Jordan Addison. It's not like the
TJ Hawkinson's coming back.
You telling me as a team, Arsenal offensively, that the before this year started, you were gonna put the Vikings on the same level with the Dolphins in terms of the weaponry that they have? There's no way. I don't care with Justin Jefferson.
You're missing the point.
If you go position for position, they're not really that far off.
I don't know. I mean,
who's more dominant, Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson?
I mean, Justin Jefferson, but Tyreek ain't no slack though, bro.
What has he done without Tua? You can see how Tyreek could be bracketed and shut down with a lack of a quarterback that can deliver the ball. We have already seen it. I'm not saying he's not a great player, but certainly you can shut down Waddle. And you can shut down Tyreek Hill.
Is out there playing. Those guys still play well. They put up big numbers. Tyreek Hill was an NFL MVP candidate last year, and he led the league in receptions. And
Bob, you got 4 teams. Bob, you got 4 teams. So we're only talking to people who only have one team. Okay, because I think Bob isn't Bob a Miami fan and a Giant fan or something? He has like 2 teams. So we're not even talking to you. Stay out of it. When you pick one team, then we'll talk to you. And at the end of the day, Bob, you like Tua? You think you can bank the future on Tua and his injury? One more concussion each season. If he's considering the fact that I don't know if I need to retire, they have created a new concussion rule for Tua. After you get said amount of concussions, you got to sit out for this many games. It's time to reconsider, and it's time to draft a new quarterback.
Well, I agree with you drafting a new quarterback. I think they should do that. But I don't think
initially you were like, why would you draft a new quarterback with Tua? That's what you had said when I had said that earlier.
I was saying to the point of, you said blow the team up. You told me do a whole yard sale and become a seller with all those great weapons. Why would you do that and still keep Tua there? Because you can't move Tua. And then if you bring a young quarterback in, who's he, like to Scrapp's point, who's he going to throw it to? You got nobody to throw the ball to.
You can't move Tua, but you can move Tyreek Hill and Waddle and get younger and cheaper. It affords you the ability to get a quarterback for cheap and get some receivers.
But that quarterback is not going to play, D. You still got to let Tua play his contract out. Ain't no owner going to let Tua sit on the sideline. He's going to have to play it because he's still got to play his couple of years. If Tua don't get hurt again, right? Because you got to still think of that too. If he doesn't get hurt, he's still in a big contract. So that young quarterback is still going to sit for a year or two before he's even ready to play.
Well, now, yeah.
And but so if they didn't sign him, Johnny Johnson, who's he going to throw it to?
They shouldn't have signed him is the point. That's the point.
But if they don't sign him, then what were they supposed to do then? Right. I mean, they did have a successful year. I mean, they can't get past Buffalo. Do you blow it up just because you can't get past one team? Like, who blows up a whole organization because you can't get past one? You tweak your roster. You make some adjustments to try to find a way to get better. But you don't blow the whole team up because you can't get past one team.
It's not about just blowing it up. Mm-hmm. So this is the question you have to ask yourself. Miami, they got 4 people, maybe 5 that can run 25 miles an hour. Congratulations. Right. Can they beat Baltimore in the cold?
No, they cannot.
Okay. No. Can they beat Buffalo in the cold?
No, they cannot.
Could they beat Cincinnati or the Steelers or Kansas City? They can't beat the teams that they would need to beat to represent the AFC. So it's not just about Buffalo. Yes, you want to win your division first, and then you want to move on from there. But clearly, they can't beat any of the contenders that they would have to beat.
Blow the team. So you blaming that all on Tua because Tua can't play in the cold, or is it the whole team? Who can't play in the cold?
So I'm blaming. No, what I'm doing is I'm blaming the organization for giving Tua an extension. That's number one. Now that you've made that mistake and everyone sees that Tua is brittle, you can only move the assets that actually make sense. You can get something for Tyreek, and they were just talking about that the other day. Moving on from getting Tyreek somewhere else because teams would want him. He could thrive elsewhere. Jalen Waddle. Yes, people would take Tyreek's $30 million or however much he's making because he adds instant impact. Tua, on the other hand, they see, yes, super accurate, gets the ball out of his hands. He's, we know he's not a mobile quarterback per se, but he works in that offense.
Right.
If he gets hit, though, you're going to lose him for 4 to 6 weeks at a clip. And so everybody gasps when Tua gets hit. Yeah,
goes down.
That availability is not there. So if you're losing him in 17 weeks, you're losing him for half the season or 6 weeks.
At least
you don't have a quarterback. That is my point. Move on. You can't move on from him because nobody's taking on that contract, but you can move the assets that people will really want. And that's my whole point. They messed up by signing him. They shouldn't have extended him. They should have drafted the quarterback.
I just don't see the logic in if you already signed him, which I get your point. I mean, hindsight is 20/20.
Did you say that you wanted them to move on? Did you say you wanted the Cowboys to move on from Dak?
I did.
So what do you mean you don't see the logic? Dak is more sturdy than Tua?
I don't see the logic. I don't see the logic in the fact that now that he's signed, why would you get rid of all of your other stars when if you draft another quarterback, you still gonna have to wait for that quarterback to get developed. You better off taking a chance with Tua and your other stars there.
Not necessarily. You don't have to wait. If the quarterback, if you make it a true competition and the quarterback that you drafted.
Competition, how are you going to do that? There's no way you can make it out of true competition. He's already the money he's making. No, there's no competition.
So you're saying Miami stuck?
There's no competition.
Miami stuck is what you're saying, pretty much.
Yeah, they're stuck. They are. They're stuck. That's the risk you run when you sign a quarterback to a franchise deal, like what they did. Like
they gave Kirk Cousins. They gave Kirk Cousins $100 million, and they still drafted Penix. Smart teams don't care about that. Smart teams are able to pivot. Miami is the pivot that Miami could do is get rid of Tyreek and get rid of Waddle. At least one of them. Pivot and get younger and cheaper, and you could surround him with a team. Yeah, it may not be. You're
saying their issue is playing in the cold. And think about this. Only played one playoff game his whole career. Tua. He only played one playoff game. That was the one he lost in 2023. That was it. He ain't even got no playoff history. Postseason. He missed the game in 2022. He didn't play that game. He was out. 2023. That's the game they lost to Buffalo. So there's no trend.
So you're making my point, though.
I'm saying actually
not reliable.
But that's one game. It's not like there's a trend. It ain't like they've been getting bounced in the playoffs in the cold weather the last 4 years that Tua was there. Tua hasn't played. Tua only played one game in the cold.
No.
Because he's always hurt.
Right. And you have to take a deep dive when this show's over another day. Look at a deep dive. Take a deep dive into Tua's numbers below 70 degrees. It's a stat. His efficiency, his accuracy below 70 plummets. As the temperature plummets above 70, and unless you're the number one seed and the AFC goes through Miami, which we don't see that in the near future, as long as Mahomes and as long as Joe Burrow and which court is
Josh Allen,
and who else? A ton of AFC quarterbacks in cold
Lamar
weather.
Jackson,
Lamar Jackson. As long as all of those people are ahead of you, it's not the number one seed is not going to go through Miami. It's not going to be a balmy 70-degree day or 75 degrees and all of that. It's not going to happen. So I think Miami needs to pivot and count their losses, right? You got to eat the quarterback salary. You can't move on from him, but certainly you can move pieces and get younger and cheaper. That's my opinion. Okay. Let's talk about the Eagles. I'm talking about, listen, the Eagles played the Jags, and my phone almost slipped out of my hand because Scrap was sweating so bad, even sending the text messages. He's going to have confidence du jour now. He's going to be, oh man, yeah, man. But he was, here we go. We're going to lose this one. Oh man. Whoa, the phone was slipping out of my hand when he was talking. I said, okay. Now, the Jags blew that game. They had every opportunity to win it.
They did, man.
But what happens is, fortunately and unfortunately for them, good teams, if you give them opportunities, this is still the NFL, they will find a way to capitalize. Mm-hmm. And it was a really good game. Ultimately, the Eagles won. Scrap feels good. He still has some air in his lungs, but he was. Hey, don't let him fool you. He was very scared. I had to.
Oh, I know he was under pressure.
He was, of course, he was.
Under pressure. He was.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Scared at all.
Oh man, never a doubt. Right?
There we go.
No doubt. Definitely crept in because I felt like the old Sirianni was showing up again. He left 9 points on the field. Like we take those points, they don't have as much confidence as they did. They scored the touchdown, then they got the crazy fumble and ran it back. Now they're right back in the game. You see what I'm saying? Like we gave
and that wasn't
them
a
hope.
fumble though. I will say.
I think it was because I think the dude hit his foot, but he ultimately tripped over the lineman's foot. You see what I'm saying? So I think the dude hit. Now if he would have went straight down off the dude, like grabbing his ankle, then it's not a fumble because his knee went down and he was laying like. horizontal. Is it horizontal? Yeah, he was laying like on the ground. Yeah, he was laying on the ground and the ball came out. But they said since he tripped over the lineman's foot, I mean, it could have went either way. I mean, it wasn't enough to overturn it, right? So even if that play happens, if we take the points, we're still up 2 scores, at that point. You see what I'm saying? Like 9 points. Like you gotta take points when they're there. You see what I'm saying? It's like we forgot what we did the last 2 weeks. And we saw, that we were out to the big lead, but we forget that it's not basketball, it's not baseball. Each score is not worth 1 or 2 points. Each score is 6, maybe 8 points. You see what I'm saying? Like, so you up 22-0, they scored twice. They're back in the game like they were. And I've seen plenty of Sundays where we're where we're up big and then something crazy happens like that. And then next thing you know, we're either down a couple points or we're only up a couple points. Like that game was on the tee for us to lose. I'm not going to lie to you. The game was on the tee for us to lose. But the defense did what they had to do. N'Kobe made a heck of a play to ice the game. But that game was losable, and it shouldn't even been that close that late because we were on our way to doing what I said we was going to do. We were on our way to pillaging. You see what I'm saying? But then somehow, like
you wrote off the Jags, but they didn't write back. They was in the game. They was in the game. And let me tell you,
they did a Gino.
We let them hang around.
Do not lose whatever you do, Scrap. Do not lose the Cooper Rush. If you lose the Cooper Rush,
listen,
my goodness,
they're gonna rush for nearly 300 yards as a team.
If we lose the Cooper Rush, man, right?
Now, look, Cooper's not a bad quarterback. All right? You ain't
he's
gonna
not a
Cooper
good one
rush.
either. We're not gonna do that.
I mean, he's
not a bad one, but he's not a good
one.
We ain't gonna do that.
I tell you what, he'll make it more competitive than Dak. That's for sure.
No, he won't. Don't do that. You're not gonna sit here and
do that. Honestly, he will.
But what Nick need to understand is my saying how oatmeal is better than no meal. Just take the points before halftime. Take the field goal, take the points. Like you don't have to do razzle dazzle every time. Just take the points. One is more than none. Some is more than none, man. Just take the points. That's all you have to do. Stop outsmarting yourself. Outdumbing yourself. Just take the points. If you get in range to score points, take the points. Put your defense back out there. Your defense was pitching a shutout. Put your defense back on the field with more points in their pocket. Like, stop putting them in those positions, man. Like, man,
it adds up. All those field goals, it adds up.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, man, come on now. You gotta be smart.
Let me ask you two guys. Both of your teams are in the NFC East. What are your fears? Because listen, Washington and Magic Johnson and everyone else, they got better. And they're already on the top. They're already on top in the NFC East. Do you guys fear that they're going to, number one, win the division, number two, that you can match up with them?
Of course.
Because quarterback play, from a quarterback standpoint, arguably they have the best quarterback in your division. Hands down. Hands down, I think.
We're not going to go hands down. The hands are still up. Okay? Like, we're not going to go hands down. Listen,
one hand down.
What I'm gonna say is, like, I was totally surprised yesterday that we did absolutely nothing. Like, it seemed like how it's just like we're just gonna, we're good with what we got, kind of like what the Phillies did, and you saw how that ended. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you got an opportunity to make,
where did they need help? Well, I mean, where did you think they need help at?
Pass rush. We need a pass rusher. We don't have no pass rush.
Y'all struggling on the pass rush.
Yeah, we don't have a pass rush. Like we need a pass rusher. Like, who did somebody went and got the guy from the Browns. I forgot who got him. Detroit.
Detroit
got him, yeah.
We could have used that guy. I mean, we could have gave up a premium pick and went and got somebody. We could have saw what the Raiders wanted for Crosby. He wants out. Like, I'm pretty sure, like Don said, some of these players were there to be had yesterday. And we did nothing at all. I totally forgot it was the trade deadline. I'm looking around, then like that's very un-Howie like. You see what I'm saying? Last year he made
he did
like little moves that didn't really move the needle at all because last year it wasn't that type of season. But this season we're having with the upgrade we got with Barkley And all we missing is a pass rusher, really. And I would have got I don't see why he didn't go get a pass rusher. But yeah, Washington, they made a real good move getting Lattimore, because Lattimore is a ball hawk and he punches the ball out once he gets up on you.
Definitely punching the ball out.
Yeah. So I mean, they got better, but
actually, don't sleep though. There was some movement. Washington wasn't the only team in the NFC East that made a move. There was a huge acquisition, huge. And if you think I was going to let you get, thank you, Scrap. Thank you. I'm glad you bought. There was a huge acquisition.
He got 3 whole
Jerry
yards
Jones
season,
had
right?
tears in his eyes. He said there was
got
people
one
we
catch
were
for
looking
3
at.
yards this season. He's a barn burner.
He is going to be a difference maker.
Yes,
he is a force multiplier. He is going to be. He is going to be the difference. He's going to take the pressure
through the roof.
Yeah, that was a huge acquisition. We can't. I don't want to, not say
that's an all-in acquisition, bro.
That's all in. Gloss over
all in look like.
I don't want to gloss over that.
Who is he?
You give him a 4th. I don't even know his name. I ain't gonna lie. I don't remember.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Mingo, Jonathan Mingo.
Mingo, yeah.
On the worst team in the NFL.
G-O and Mingo was his name. Mingo, you got Mingo.
Yeah,
but they said Jerry Jones, he's a straight shooter. He said that they were looking at him pre-draft, so they were interested in him years ago. I don't know. Carolina picked him up. Who knows?
Well, they got him.
He got to be better than what you have, even though I don't see why you didn't want
Colbert. I don't think he's better than Flaunery either, who we don't play. That kid is good, but Dallas don't know good players when they got him, and then when they got good players, they don't know what to do with them. So.
I thought you said that they drafted well. Will McClain.
No, they draft well, but offensively, McCarthy doesn't know what to do with gadget guys or taking players to that next level. That's not.
There's no shortcuts. Listen.
It seems like everybody on y'all offense is a gadget guy besides CD. Y'all even try to gadget him too. So
and that's
not like Inspector
really
Gadget over there.
His strength. The problem with the Cowboys is, unlike y'all's teams, we don't block well, and nobody blocks. Nobody knows how to block. Our tight ends don't block. Our receivers don't block. Like if you're in the Shanahan offense, everybody has to know how to block. Everybody. Kittle's blocked. Ayuk blocked. Jennings blocked. Everybody blocks. You know what I'm trying to say? Your fullback blocks. You have to block in that offense, in those zone runs and how they run their schemes. Everybody has to block. Like Greg Olson was pointing out so many deficiencies on those plays. Even that jet sweep we tried to run with CD. Bad call, but it might have worked if freaking Tyler Smith
playing Alcorn State.
Block. Huh?
It might have worked if y'all was playing Alcorn State or somebody.
I don't even think it would have worked against them, to be honest with you. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. Yeah,
that worked just as good as our bubble screen. that worked just as good as the Eagles bubble screen.
Well, I tell you what, next week is gonna be a disaster. I know we're not doing previews yet, but I tell you, man, it's not.
Yeah, save that.
It's gonna be a bloodbath.
I'm gonna save my lament on Saturday or whenever we do it again. So it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be
horrible, man.
Well, it is. Hey, listen, I'm set free, fellas. I'm good, man. I got liberty. I'm happy. I ain't worried no more. Listen, I'm good. I'm glad it happened when it happened.
When we cut the tape, we're gonna make sure that the sound is off because Rod is gonna be crying in the background. He's acting. When you ever see when people are like, "Yo, I'm good, guys. Ain't nothing to see here." Oh, it's all right, man.
Remember on the Chappelle show?
It's good.
Like, the only reason I'm crying is because of the adrenaline. The guys' night out one.
Yeah, Rod is like, "Yo, it's all right. Ain't nothing to see here. We good."
Yeah.
Oh man, wait a minute. Hold on.
He uses high voice.
Hold on, James. Too soon, man. Too soon. Oh man.
Too soon.
Yeah, that's wow, James.
In the way
the
where
pond, James.
I mean, she did get the beat down yesterday, and that looks like a Cowboy game for all intents and purposes.
And Scrap had something to do with it. We're not even talking about what Pennsylvania did, but listen, we're not gonna go there. But Scrap, I was expecting more from you, Scrap. I was expecting you to galvanize the troops and get out there, and there was
the troops.
There was a complete dominance that took place.
Oh man!
You in Philly County? You in Philadelphia County? Scrap, where you at? If you don't mind me asking.
Yes, sir.
Blue
Okay.
Wall was destroyed.
I am
I'm
in
like,
Philly.
yo, Scrap, man. It's on you, man. It blame Scrap, man. If y'all got something to say, blame Scrap. Scrap said.
Please don't, because listen, I took so much backlash from what I said last time, and I didn't.
Oh,
even
really?
feel- yeah, I didn't even feel like I
Oh,
said
wow.
anything
I don't
wrong.
think. Yeah, you didn't say nothing.
You mean on this show when you?
Yeah, when I was talking about last time, we was talking about that,
Really?
and I was saying how I don't care who votes for who and all. I was speaking like figuratively.
In general, right?
Yeah, and somebody.
Wait,
said
I mean,
it was literal.
we're not pushing one
we're-
or
this
the
ain't-
other.
Yeah, we're not
exactly. This
advocating
ain't
one
CNN.
candidate over
No.
another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or,
No,
or
exactly.
Fox
Yeah.
News. Yeah, I was just giving my opinion. Like
Wow.
I'm saying, like if one of y'all voted for the person I didn't vote for, I wouldn't hold that against you. That was the premise of what I was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
You know what I'm
course.
saying? So
course
yeah,
not.
Because every individual should be voting their interests at the
Sure
end.
is.
Of
Yeah,
the
Right.
exactly.
Right. Exactly.
exactly.
No,
Well,
I feel
since he won, he better deliver on that. No tax on overtime. He better deliver on that.
right. That's hopefully
'Cause he-
Congress will allow it.
And so I think
No,
Social
no,
Security, he's supposed to be
Social
like for retirees or whatever. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, January is some months away. We'll see once January kicks, all these new ideas and plans. Yeah. But hey,
Well,
listen,
That's why I
own the
said they should
party,
have just
so-
reelected. They should have just reelected him 4 years ago. We'll be done with him. We'll be done with him in 2 months. But
yeah. So well, here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
Little shout out to Dak. Here we go.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
But in any case, good show.
Another L coming.
Another L. We're
Another
going to
Another L.
preview week 10, which should be exciting. For the Niner fans, real quick, CMC is back in practice. No pain. Looking good.
Good for him.
We should be getting Jennings back.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Debo, Brock Purdy, everybody, we are getting healthier. Hopefully, Greenlaw will be coming back soon. Hufunga will be coming back soon. So our team is getting healthy at the right time. Of course, given the option of if you have to have injuries, I would much rather have the injuries early on than late, obviously, because the later, just like getting fortunate calls like the Kansas City, the later it happens, the more it affects an outcome.
More benefits you.
More benefit.
I got a tough schedule, D. I got a real
later.
tough schedule coming up.
Well, I mean, if y'all
be all right though.
If y'all do what y'all supposed to do, man, y'all can. They got a hotel and a casino right next to, right across the street from the link. Y'all can stay there the night before the NFC Championship game, gamble a little bit, and then walk on over a couple blocks and come get the stuff and beat out y'all.
You really, honestly, Scrap. let's be clear on this, and then we can. You guys aren't going to be the number one seed. Come on, like realistically speaking, you're not going to be the number one seed. No,
it's going to be Detroit and Kansas City again, guys.
Again? What you mean again?
What do you mean again?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's delusional.
He's
delusional.
Again.
Yo, guys, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be Detroit.
It's gonna be the Titans and
it's gonna be the Yankees in Kansas City.
What is he talking about, man?
It's gonna be the Rangers and
it's gonna be the Dodgers and the Blackhawks, guys. I'm telling you. Like, come on now.
Just naming teams. Like he must have been playing Madden. He was playing Madden before he got on here.
Yeah,
he had to be doing something other than.
No, it'll be Niners in Detroit in the NFC Championship game, and Detroit's gonna prevail. Detroit is bad, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think Scrap. Don't you sit there and tell me you think your team right now is better than Detroit.
We can beat anybody we play.
I mean, anybody can beat anybody. But do you think your team is better than Detroit right now? If who's the best team in the NFC right now in your eyes? Objectively, please.
Objectively, in my eyes, in these eyes.
Man. No.
In these eyes,
I don't know why you
I don't know why.
Right, I don't know why you expect Rod. What are you talking about?
I don't know why you
expect him.
You're right, because Scrap is so.
How do you expect me to say somebody is better than my team?
How? I agree with Scrap. Like, why would you?
Why not?
Why would you ask him to do that?
I ain't gonna lie. Scrap's not objective like that. I don't know.
I am objective.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm trying to tell you, objectively speaking, I feel like if we line up against Detroit and we're both healthy, we're going to beat them. That's just the nature of the beast, man.
I don't know.
Not without a pass rush, because their offensive line is serious.
That
man.
line is the stuff
Really?
that boy Johnson got them boys doing.
Now,
Really?
Tell him
if you play him, Jared Goff, if you play him in cold weather, he's a little bit different than he is in a controlled environment in a dome or something. Yeah, he's a little bit different. He's not as bad as Tua.
Real men play outside.
Well, I agree with that. But that means you got to get the number 1 seed, or it's going to go through Detroit.
We'll take care of that. Don't worry about it.
Or it's going to come through Santa Clara.
We won't be playing on no carpet in the NFC Championship. We're going to be playing on grass like men.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, we're not playing on no carpet. Are you kidding me? Yeah, exactly. Grass stains on our
What did
jersey.
James say? James said the Lions. He thinks the Lions are the best. James, who's the best team in the NFC, James? Let me see how objective James can be, being a 49er fan. James,
look at the bottom feeder trying to reach for who else? Who's better than us? Who's got it better than us? Nobody.
Mentality. Right,
exactly. Yo, that is we're not going into 2025 like that.
James is active with us tonight.
He's in a different time zone. We don't even know what time zone he's in. He's in a different time zone.
Don't matter.
Maybe in his time zone, the Lions are better.
It's daytime over there.
But in this time zone,
in the Philly time zone,
the Niners are the best team that we're talking about right now.
So Donna, the Niners, are you better than Detroit right now?
Once our team is healthy,
y'all are healthy.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. If we're healthy, absolutely. Yeah. It's 3 a.m. James is half asleep. Come on, James.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he's
sleeping. Thanks for hanging out with us, James. Man,
James, he's sleeping. Yeah, James.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Hanging out with us on the late night.
Now we appreciate it.
After dark. This is Brooklyn after dark. But exactly. Healthy.
Lions, Vikings, Philly, Niners, Packers. Currently. Vikings.
That's in no particular order. That got to be in no particular order.
Yeah, I wouldn't put the Vikings. I'm still not. I don't trust the Vikings. And I don't trust the Packers either. Still, even though I thought the Packers the Packers kind of, even though their record is good still, but I don't know, something about.
Let me tell you what the biggest deal
they are.
Let me tell you what the biggest deal is. Their quarterback is going in and out of being injured, right?
Yeah.
So the quarterback matters. If your team, it doesn't matter. They got great receivers. They got a good running back. They got a good tight end. But their quarterback impacts their ability to get to the level that they need to compete.
I agree.
That's why you got to get rid of Tua, or you get rid of the other Tua. Listen, we won't go back. We won't go there. But that's my point.
What are we do? We bring Corey on the show. Let's get his little perspective on it and see what he said. Y'all two.
Me and Corey talk all the time.
Y'all talk all the time, right?
Yeah. And he is not. He said that they are, in his words, he said that they are scared to death. Like they are not a physical team whatsoever. They're a finesse team, and teams bully them. And if you're getting bullied in 75-degree weather, what kind of bullying you think is going to take place where there's
that defense
tickles coming off your mustache?
Ice cold bullying.
Huh? Yeah. It's a wrap.
I agree.
It's a wrap.
I agree. Their stuff does. Defense is awesome. They get points on the board. They could shut out a game. Got to get the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings are playing well, though.
My God, about to tip off.
Now, their defense is good. Their defense is good. Yeah. Real quick.
Yeah,
we gotta go because if we talk about Embiid's suspension, it's going to be something. And
Embiid. They suspended the guy that don't play.
Yeah. They suspended him for 3 games for pushing the guy, and the guy crossed the line.
Why suspend
him? This is already what, game 10 already, and he hasn't played. So maybe they'll give him time served.
Laugh now.
Oh my God. I have him on my fantasy team. I have him on the IR position or IL. So I know what Embiid is going to do, but they should just give him time served since he's already been out. Like,
but
you ain't playing anyway.
My thing with that whole
we're going to give you a young thug. We're going to give you time served. Get on out of here.
With that whole situation, though, right? I read the comment that Marcus Hayes wrote. He could have wrote that without bringing his son and his brother into it. Like he totally could have did that. He didn't have to. He didn't have to.
I didn't see the article. What did he say? Like, did you?
He said that basically the premise was this. He said, Embiid says that everything basically he does on the court is for his son, who is named after his brother, who was tragically killed in a car accident his rookie season. And then he said, well, in order to do that, you got to first come to work. And You see what I'm saying? So, bro, like
unnecessary.
He
crossed the line. Yeah,
exactly.
I was
Exactly. So my thing is, should Embiid had to use, better discretion? Maybe, but you can't disrespect somebody and then get mad at the way that they react to said disrespect. Like I got into not into it, but a couple people tell me, oh well, when you got that much money and you do all that, you got to react different. I said you can't tell that man how to react. He's not thinking about the money right then and there. He's thinking about this guy. First of all, with a smear piece, and then he's bringing his son into it. Then he's bringing his brother into it. And he even said, I don't care what you say about me. You can say what you want about me all day, but don't bring my son or my brother into it because they have nothing to do with this. And I agree with him 100%. And the guy lucky he didn't knock him out. That would have been a 20 game, 25 game suspension.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, like. Keep the punches. The ref tell you every time in a boxing match, keep the punches above the belt. Don't go swinging low, going after his family. Talk about him. He gives you a million things to talk about. Call him a flopper. So, say he's lazy. Say he comes in out of shape. Talk about him even playing in the Olympics, but not playing now. But you didn't have to bring his family into it.
And another thing you don't want to bring up, which you should never bring up, and we don't even like to bring it up on this show, is that the Lakers are losing by 20, 25 or 27 points. I don't care who you have. I don't care who you got. LeBron, right? You got LeBron, right? You got Bronny Jr., right?
Yeah, so you got LeBron and Bronny.
You got Bronny Jr. And
we ain't got no guys, man.
Listen, you got guys.
We ain't got no guys.
He's having an MVP season right now.
What happened to the new Pat Riley? Where's Pat Riley Jr. at? He's not able to coach closer than 27 points. You guys are getting the doors blown off.
We can't win on the road. That's the problem, son.
They got y'all behind the woodshed, right?
Man. But we don't want to talk about that because I don't want Rod to push me next time he sees me. Yeah. So we won't talk about that later.
No, it's too early. It's too early for the NBA right now. I'm not even. I'm not worked up yet.
Well, the Cowboy season is over, so you
might as well
move on. You should move on. We still can talk. We still in football season.
Yeah.
Well, I'm watching my Lakers, but I'm not gonna, go.
You're not looking at them.
Yeah, I'm looking. No, I'm watching. I'm very aware because Hayes got the issue there too.
Well, you're looking at him, but
Hayes
you're not
is in
watching.
trouble. Hayes is in major trouble. So y'all,
and then we got the
team is imploding, man.
He's playing tonight that we drafted last year, but he couldn't. He was hurt. So
is he playing? Because y'all only got 89 points in fourth quarter. Are y'all playing?
Well, I mean, we're playing small ball, man. We ain't got nobody there, and then LeBron is on limited minutes tonight.
Why? Why is he on limited minutes?
Because JR just not playing them the full length of the minutes. You know, JR
Smith. Who's JR?
I mean,
please. What you mean, JJ?
JJ, I meant to say.
It's bedtime, Rod. It's bedtime.
All right, Rod.
Yo,
thank you. Man. Once again, we appreciate you guys because this dude has been he
all over the place, man.
For at least the last 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
Just saying anytime.
Right.
Serena Williams, she's gonna be in there. I think
going on over there, man.
Get Serena. If Serena Williams, they put Serena in, it'll be all right. Like, yo, this dude is tired. So we just gotta let him go to bed, man. Yo, Rod, I'm so sorry. I know I'm on the West Coast. You guys on the East Coast. I'm so sorry for keeping you guys up past your bedtime. But when you start talking like that, it's like, all right, it's
like Puff said.
right, exactly.
More money, more problems.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So we appreciate everyone for joining us. Shout outs to Rod and Scrap. Oh man, good show. Once again, please like, share, subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube page. James, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, James, man.
Power Drill, everybody that jumped in, Canandre.
Yeah.
Scrap will never say your name, Rand, but I will. I don't mind.
Robert in the building, he left, right? Robert left.
Yeah, Rand is out the building. But yeah, we appreciate it, everyone. Until next time. Peace.